Yes, people, Keisha Prince here. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to avoid peaking early. Now, this is probably most successful academy players or young players' fears that are doing really well at the youth level. Can they sustain that form throughout the rest of their careers? And this is what separates the greats from those who end up just becoming professionals, i.e. Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, Iniesta, many players who had a terrific academy youth playing career and was able to transcend that into their older playing days. You know, there's players such as Kerlon. Probably you guys don't remember him, some of you. He was talk of the city when I was young. This boy was the first to do the seal dribble. I don't even know where he's at right now. Josh McEachran, now Ranger. Freddie Adu was, boy, he was 14 years old, made his debut. Don't know where he is now. Giovanni Dos Santos, Ricardo Quaresma, Macheda when he came on against I think it was Aston Villa and scored that banger. Ibrahim Afellay, AJ, Jack Rodwell, Bojan Krkic, Ravel Morrison, Pato, Hakim. All these guys had such great youth careers and they dominated for youth under 21s, 19, 18, some of them even earlier. And now they're nowhere to be seen, or they're playing at a very low level, or they didn't max out their potential. And usually, to say the least, how could I say, oh, they peaked early? Well, the thing is about peaking early is really about mindset. That's what really is. It's a mindset of an early peaker. So what I mean by that is that someone who peaks early is someone who has initially tasted success and then stops developing themselves, or there's certain things around them that kills that development. Okay, so they become really early successful and then they peak because there's not been a lot of structure around them to transcend to another dimension. For example, Ronaldo, him leaving to go to Manchester United when he was younger was a great move, because if he had stayed at Sporting Lisbon, would he have been who he is today? No. I know a lot of people said, oh no, talent, he would have made it. No. He had to go to the Premier League and develop the physical side of the game and develop the player amongst those players that he played with Scholes, Giggs, the Neville brothers, Keane, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Rooney. When you're around these guys in training and the mentality of Sir Alex Ferguson, you can't tell me that did not help Ronaldo be who he is today. So really, I want to just pick off a few points in the mindset of somebody who peaks early or their surroundings, and see whether that's something that you can identify so you don't get caught up in the same loop. So number one is there's no real big picture of the awareness of their goal beyond where they have successfully been at right now currently. So that means the success early is to find their success of, yeah, I've made it. So if you made a debut at 14, yeah, I've made it here, you know what I mean? You know, for example, like Hakim, he made his debut at 14 for AC Milan, got loaned out, then he was doing night videos with Neymar. Like, this guy's all over the internet. He's playing Morocco's second division, okay? Because he missed out development of him playing in his youth career, okay? The next one is over celebrating success. So they get caught up in the hype. That's majority what happens to a lot of the young players, like Kerlon, Freddie Adu. You know, this guy, boy, he was a cheat code on Pro Evolution, if everybody knows, remember that game. Like Kerlon, you know, these youngsters, they didn't have, I believe, the system around them to keep them grounded and keep them humble. And even having an agent that knows about football and not about, yeah, look, you're all over the internet, let's get this deal, let's go to this commercial. You're 15, 16. No, you should be playing youth level or training with the first team at the same time, or train with, you know what I mean? There should be infrastructure to ensure that doesn't happen. I.e., people like Michael Owen did a great youth career. People say, well, he redeemed himself in Real Madrid. Listen, he was not the same Michael when he was at Liverpool. Don't care what no one says. So how to then refigure your model, your mindset to not become an early peaker? Even if you have experience or experience very good success early, you know, you're touted as a great prospect from Rising Ballers and, you know, great prospect from different sources. what do you do to keep yourself humble? Number one, create a clear vision that is way bigger than any goals. So if you experience early success from early, which is a goal because you're scoring a lot of goals, for example, that early success should not distinguish or put you off the vision of you potentially playing, in Europe for Champions League football, for example, or you making it to the senior squad. Or you doing more than what you should be doing, i.e., going to do commercials at a young age, you doing, big deals, you doing these adverts and stuff like that, because a lot of that stuff does mess up a lot of people if you've not been groomed in that environment very carefully. Neymar was a fantastic talent, and his dad was very careful with that, even though, I think 2010, 2011, 2012, when Neymar was picking up, when he was in Santos, he had a very good team around him to keep him modelled. Even though he was doing commercials left, right and centre, he still had a very good system around him to keep him grounded. He could have left from early and gone to Madrid. We probably would not have the Neymar we had today, but humble. His dad did a great job in keeping him Santos into his late teens, and obviously when he's 20, 21, I believe, he went over to Barcelona. He could have gone to Barca from early, but he stayed. And this is what Pele was saying, that a lot of Brazilians, why they don't make it at a higher level in terms of their potential, because they leave Brazil too early. Some of them leave early and they're just not ready. I believe Gabriel Jesus and Vinicius Jr., they went to clubs and they got developed at the right stages, and that's why the potential. Vinicius Jr. was very, very lucky in terms of that he had a very good coach around him to be able to develop him, because a lot of Brazilians that's come over from South America and Brazil, and they have just they have failed to meet the hype. And I believe Vinicius Jr. had a very good system at Madrid that they had for him in order for him to maximize certain stages of his development that wasn't right. Because even Neymar was not successful when he went over to Barcelona for the first season. But again, the development was needed in order for him to be able to be successful in European football. So number two is to set a well-formed outcomes and be clear about the intention of the outcomes. Number three is that after every successful outcome, after a short period of reflection, set the next goal and modify the vision to make sure it's appropriate. That's very important, because when you experience success, if you do not reflect and say, we've hit this peak very early, what we've got to do next is set the bar. You understand? That way you don't say that I made it already. Okay, and then ensure that your successes are stepping stones and not the end goals. That's the number one. The next one as well is enjoy a restlessness that is more possible. Have your intentions open to new things. Very important. Next one, use absolute focus on every task you perform. Go for gold, be a winner. Operate from a state of excellence and use formats that make sure that you continue to hit high performance states. And the last one is celebrate success, but be ready for the next stage in the journey. And that's very important. You can experience early success and celebrate success, but you must be ready for the next stage of the journey. And for me, that's why a lot of players don't hit the peak. Yes, it could be due to injuries, which some of you will say, well, injuries happened, etc., etc. Yes, that's true why some of them didn't make the peak, but there are certain things that I believe that didn't, or was not put in the stage of their mind around them, from people around them, to ensure that potential was hit. Let me know what you think about this, but I think this is something that we have to address, especially in right now. There's so much talented players in the UK at the moment, and even around the world. I believe that the next stages of people ensuring that their peak is fulfilled is that their mentality is staying grounded. For example, we're looking at Mbappe. Mbappe was a problem in youth level all the way to the last 3-4 years. He has not really done anything to the place that he could be acting the way he's acting right now. And that's somebody that hasn't got a good support system around him. That's not telling them, Mbappe, you ain't even arrived yet. Yes, you won the World Cup already. Yes, you've done really well at club level, but you ain't arrived yet. You need to be humbled yourself. You need to be able to be, to be taught. And he doesn't. Every time I'm seeing him getting subbed, he's beefing his coach from when he was younger, and those are signs of someone. I would be very surprised if Mbappe makes anything in the next 5 years. I'd be very surprised personally, because if he doesn't change the mentality, he will fade out. So I think we'll have a fade out, like he should have left and went to Madrid. So let me know what you think, and let's go.